Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I'm buying into the Path of Exile 2 hype, and I want to make a video going over the most recent content reveal from Path of Exile. Little background about me, I have no experience playing Path of Exile. I take that back. I have like 40 something minutes in the game in Path of Exile 1. I didn't have anybody to play with, and the game is massive, like, is an understatement. And so I didn't really give it the try. I've heard you had to play like, a solid 200 hours to get a good grasp of the game. And you had to watch 8 hours of video to understand even how to make a build in the game or something like that. And I feel like I have a fresh chance to be able to start. So what I want to do in this video is go over Path of Exile 2, its most recent announcement, and I want to do it from a beginner's perspective. I've played some Diablo, both Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, so I've got experience in ARPGs. I've pushed those pretty heavily. I'm looking for the next game, and I think Path of Exile 2 is going to be it. Let's go and watch this video together, and I'll just give you my thoughts and comments along the way. It's going to be a casual, kind of conversational video, so thanks for watching, and let's see how it goes. I'm pretty excited.
Sir, just what are we facing here?
A relic of the old world. Ready your men, Captain. We will only get one chance. And remember, when you hear the whispers, call for help. Do not attack.
Ominous.
You hear the whispers? What do you think he was on about?
It's Dorman, right?
Yeah.
Then Dorman. Shut your damn mouth. Ugh, why do I always get stuck?
Okay, first impressions already in this cinematic is they're not messing around. Dude, I love that they're on par with AAA games right now. This is great. And building the suspense and the music, it kind of reminds me of D2 already.
With these rookies.
Hey, the kid's got a mean cleave. Give him a chance.
Quiet.
Their armor is so good. Oh! Crazy looking, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, lady. Obviously some sort of sorceress.
A mean cleave, eh, Captain? Rookie can't even lift his own sword. Captain Oren? Captain?
Oh shoot, he's gone.
It's here.
The suspense building is great.
What the fuck?
Okay. Setting the tone. Little mature, I like it.
On my back, rookie. Blade up!
Come on. I'm ready.
Ooh.
It's a man.
No, it's not.
Holy, she is a badass.
Run.
I absolutely love how they're playing into the horror side of things and how they're pulling from D2, and it feels like they're pulling from D2 in their inspiration, and how everything used to be more gritty and more mature, and they're really leaning into it, and it's fascinating to me. Oh shoot.
Captain!
Why are you here?
Oh, what? That's what I said. Damn. What is that?
On your feet, lad.
I don't feel good for this guy.
You'll be fine.
Uh-oh. What is that thing, dude? Whoa. Oh, that's not good.
What is it?
Damn. Holy, dude. Well, that guy's gone.
Stop. Mortal. It can still be contained. You don't know what you have unleashed.
Your kind no longer control this world. We cannot destroy your body, it's true. But you will watch as we destroy everything you have built. Find
Jeez.
him!
Wow.
Feed. Grow, my child. I'll make sure you can
Whoa.
be fulfilled.
Oh my gosh. Holy, it's already growing, dude. Okay. That, in terms of a cinematic and just starting, like, that was a strong start. Holy, dude. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful intro, too. Oh my gosh. Like, the quality of this production is insane, man. Just amazing. It's so good.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers.
What's up,
Game
Jonathan?
Director on Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 is going into early access in around 2 weeks on December the 6th. But even though it's early access, this isn't just some small taste. The game is huge.
Okay.
In this live stream, we're going to be introducing everything you can expect. So without further ado, let's roll the gameplay trailer.
Wow, right into the trailer. Okay.
Is a thing of beauty, precious,
That looks great.
impermanent.
Whoa.
Life and death are mortal.
Some Aztec vibes here.
Bound to one another.
Jeez.
The continuation of life must be protected at all costs.
Ooh, what? Are they making people?
Some have said
What the heck?
methods are brutal. To this, I say, there can be no salvation without sacrifice.
Whoa! Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that is badass. Alright, alright. Already, like, the polish, if this is what we're playing right off the bat, like, the polish and the movement is just insane right off the bat. That's my first kind of impression. And the skills look incredible. Jeez. Oh, whoa! Oh my, is this the... Wait a second. Is that the frickin' skill tree? Dude, my initial reaction is like, what am I getting myself into? Holy! Like, this looks like it's half of it on my screen. What is going on? Those armor sets, though, look amazing. Nice. Oh, that arrow. Oh! I don't know if my PC's going to be able to handle this.
We are faced with the end, and I will do what I must.
This guy seems bad. I feel like we're going to be killing him. Oh my gosh, that shield looks dope. Wow. Just, it's... Jeez.
Those who obsess with death, let them soon be acquainted with it.
Whoa. What the heck? Dude,
Now, as you just saw, even in
Oh.
early access, Path of Exile 2 is a big game. It's actually been 5 years since we announced PoE 2, and over that time we've revealed a lot, but it's been in bits and pieces. It's pretty hard to keep track of it all, so today we're going to do a full rundown of all the content that will be available at the start of early access. Classes,
Wow.
character progression systems, and for the first time, a full overview of the Endgame. This is
Wow.
going to be a big one, so get comfortable.
So I like that they're like preparing me, the viewer, like get ready, hold on to your butts because this is going to be huge. From a development standpoint, I do in my day job I'm a software developer, so like I can appreciate the amount of work already just from what I've seen, like building those systems to support that gameplay, and those even just down to the animations looks insane. Man, it's already hooked me. Let's see if I can hold on, I feel like.
For 20 years, Rayclast has been free from any sources of corruption.
Okay.
But the Count of Ogham, tempted by promises of power, intends to harness it once more. The dead are rising, monsters are mutating, and madness is spreading.
Jeez.
Under the dark influence of corruption, the Count doles out sentences of death to any who would question him.
Okay, so like this one guy is just reigning supreme and killing all the people. Wild. All right.
This is where you find yourself at the start of PoE 2.
Nice.
Explore the dark forests of Ogham, traverse the barren plains of the Vasteri Desert, and delve into the jungle ruins of Utsal.
These environments are beautiful and various, dude. Like they're just completely their own, even in the first few seconds that I'm watching them. Like just amazing.
An ancient Val city. There are challenging monsters, hidden ruins, lost camps and treasures, roaming merchants, and of course, unique bosses. No two areas are the same.
What the heck?
It falls to you to track down the seed of corruption, the source
Oh,
of all this devastation.
okay, that thing's called the Seed of Corruption.
On
Good
the
to
way,
know.
you'll face fearsome monsters, meet
What
strange
is that thing?
characters, forge unlikely bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But first, you'll need to pick a class.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now, early access will initially have 6 classes available. Let's have a look at
6.
them.
Okay.
The Monk is a fast and furious melee fighter. He
Nice.
dashes in and out of combat and has mechanics that involve building up and keeping momentum. Like
So-
all classes in PoE 2, you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos.
It looks like he's using elements though.
To get new skills, you will first need to find skill gems. Using
Okay,
a skill
so
gem will
skills-
open the gem cutting menu, which shows
Skills give you, or skill gems give you skills?
all
Okay.
the active skills available in PoE 2.
All
You
right.
can choose an existing skill to level up, or choose to engrave a new one. Since this is a level 7 skill gem, even if you pick a new skill, it will immediately be level 7.
Oh.
So there's no harm in trying out something new.
Cool.
The Monk primarily uses the quarterstaff.
Nice.
There are 3 schools of martial arts: lightning, ice, and wind.
Okay. Very
Don't
cool.
think you have to stick to just one. The best combos are going to involve mixing elements of all 3. Let's try
What?
Killing Palm. Like many monk skills, this can be used to quickly take advantage of a specific situation. If
Okay.
there's an enemy on low life, you can use Killing Palm to dash to them and kill them instantly. This will provide a power charge. Then we can use a different skill to consume that power charge for a much more devastating attack.
Okay, so
The
like
monk
builders
also
and
has
spenders.
powerful combo skills. Tempest Bell, for example, is a skill that places a giant resonating bell. Hitting the bell causes it to ring, dealing damage to all enemies.
Oh, that's
You can
dope.
also do things like freeze or shock the bell, which will add elemental damage to the strikes.
Okay, that skill interaction is insane. That is so cool. Like, I know some games have done it before and whatever, but like, yeah, just having that in your ARPG is like really cool.
The monk also has a variety of abilities to empower his staff. If an enemy is close to being stunned, you can use Staggering Palm to punch them down. After that, any attack you do will shoot out wind projectiles.
Nice.
There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves. so this just scratches the surface of the options that you have. By endgame, you'll be dashing from pack to pack, spewing projectiles and obliterating screens of enemies with huge combo attacks. Now, if you like a style of melee that's a little slower but hits much harder, then the warrior is for you.
Ooh, I might be playing this guy.
Chunky attacks and can shrug off the hits of small enemies with larger.
Dude, that shield right there looks so good. Oh man, he looks so good.
Even though the mace slams are slow, you never lose control. Longer attacks can be retargeted as you go.
Ooh, that is dope. That comboing right there.
Attack, you can dodge roll out of it.
Oh, there's a roll in this game.
Among the skill option for maces, you will find a variety of slams, fire attacks, war cries, and shield skills. Here, I'm going to slam the ground, rending it apart with lines of fire.
Nice.
Any slam skill will then cause these fissures to erupt with light. You can even run through them with a skill like Stampede to do huge amounts of damage.
That is, oh my gosh.
The warrior can also use war cries, which can empower your next skill. Seismic Cry, for example, will
Man,
double
that's
any
so
slams
cool.
from your next attack. The Stampede counts as a slam.
Dude, the fantasy of these classes already, like what I feel is a quintessential to monk and warrior, like how they are staples and stereotypes of the D&D kind of like MMORPG realm. They are the skills that they're assigning to these classes. They feel so good. Like I don't know all their skills, right? But the ones that they're showing, it's like, yeah, a warrior should freaking do that. Yes, a monk should be that fast and have those elemental abilities. It just makes sense. It feels so good.
So I can double that for even more craziness. If you want to go a little faster and be a little more defensive, equip a shield. In PoE 2, you can raise your shield at any time to block all damage from the front.
No
even
way.
Spells. While holding up your shield,
The
your stun meter will
spells.
build as you take damage, so be careful. If
Okay.
it reaches 100%, your stance will break and you will be vulnerable.
Oh, uh-oh.
Some enemies also have unblockable attacks, which are indicated by this red flash. If you see one of these coming, make sure to dodge out of the way.
Interesting.
Using a shield also gives you access to shield skills, like Shield Charge, which allows you to charge towards
Oh
enemies
my
instantly.
gosh, oh my
While
dude.
charging, you're also blocking
That is
the whole
so
time, so you have
cool.
full damage immunity from the front.
Yes.
The warrior also has access to totems. Some totems have built-in abilities, like Shockwave Totem, which can be placed to stun nearby enemies and trigger aftershocks like those from the earthquake.
That is
You can
dope.
also get Ancestral Warrior Totems, which allow you to use any slam skill in your repertoire.
What?
This is a meta skill, which means that it's a skill you can put other skills into. I can take a
What?
slam like Sunder and socket it into my...
Okay, the parent-child relationship is making me nerd out. Like, this skill can be housed in this skill, and this is the parent skill, but you can still use this child skill, and it's just a different version, but it still has the base level skill of the normal skill that you have, and oh my gosh, it's awesome, dude. This is really cool.
my Ancestral Warrior Totem. Now when I summon him, he'll sit there and slam the monsters from a distance.
Wow.
There are 20 active skills for maces, so there's a lot more to try out. But by endgame, you're going to be dropping hammers from the sky, leaping fearlessly into combat, and separating the very earth you stand on.
Oh my gosh. That's just insane,
Time for some
bro.
ranged attacks. The ranger is primarily about the bow, but we wanted to make sure that she feels agile as well.
Dang, dude.
In PoE 2, you can shoot while moving. Combined with
Oh,
all
that's
the skills
so
the ranger
good.
has that allow you to
One of the things that bothered me about some of the skills in like D3 around the Demon Hunter was that you had to stand still and shoot. Other ones you could just like spin around and run through the level and do that, right? But some of the main builds you would have to stand still. This is going to be awesome. Like moving. I don't know if I'd play Ranger, but it seems awesome.
jump around, you will have a lot of mobility in combat. Bow skills have a variety of lightning, poison, ice, and physical attacks.
Okay.
Lightning attacks bounce around between targets. You can
Ooh,
also stick lightning
gotta
arrows in the
dodge
ground
that,
which
man.
explode when hit by the bouncers, or electrocute enemies to take them out of combat.
That Yeti looking thing is
Ice attacks
such
allow
a
you to
cool
slow and
mob.
freeze enemies to keep them away from you.
This environment is
Using poison, Not only can
insane.
you slowly damage your enemies from afar,
It's so
but also
beautiful.
grow some interesting plants.
Okay.
21 bow skills and all the mobility and combo tools the ranger has, you can take advantage of every situation. By endgame, you'll be creating hundreds of arrows, be they falling from the sky, bouncing around between enemies, or spraying out of tornadoes.
What the heck?
You might have noticed in the bottom left of the screen that the flask slots look a little different. In PoE 2, you have one dedicated life flask slot and one mana flask slot.
Okay.
Flasks gain charges as you kill enemies, and typically allow you to
nice.
heal 6 or 7 times if they're full.
Whoa, that's
But
cool.
that's not the only thing you can use charges for. Charms are a new item type that will automatically defend you from various debuffs or damage types.
Oh,
Having
interesting.
trouble with getting frozen? Equip a thawing charm. When it's fully charged, it will make you immune to freeze for 3 seconds if you get frozen. To
That's
recharge
dope.
them, just kill more monsters.
Okay, so I wonder how fast those charms recharge. Because you could probably build something that would like recharge them super fast and then just be immune to stuff all the time. That'd be powerful.
You can gain more slots for charms by upgrading your belt. The mercenary wields a crossbow that can be loaded with different ammo types, offering versatility, power, and mobility. All classes in Path of Exile 2 can be controlled with WASD, which makes this class play exactly like a shooter.
No way, dude. You can move with WASD? So you're not... Oh my gosh. This game is insane. Oh, this is going to be good.
For the crossbow, you will find skills that work like shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles, and even grenade launchers. But not only that, there are a wide variety of more interesting elemental ammos too. It's
Okay.
very fast to switch between ammo types, so long as
Wow.
you already have them loaded, which makes the mercenary able to combo abilities together for devastating effect.
This dude's like running and gunning. He's playing COD.
Use glacial bolt to create walls of ice to separate enemies.
This
then
man is
push the
playing
fragmentation
COD
rounds to explode the ice
in
dealing
Path of
massive
Exile.
AoE damage. If I come across an armored enemy, I could use armor-piercing rounds to break their armor, and then high-velocity rounds to take them down. Or perhaps I could fire a gas grenade to poison enemies before detonating the cloud with an explosive shot for massive damage.
Whoa, that
If you
interaction
want
is
to call in some
insane.
suppressing fire, you can
Oh,
summon
that is
artillery
cool.
ballistas. These have a minimum
Kind of
range,
turrets?
so you'll want to prepare your position carefully before moving in. There are 22 active skills for crossbows. By endgame, you'll be calling destruction down from the sky as you litter the battlefield.
Dude, okay, like I'm just watching this and the amount of beautiful effects on my screen, it's just like I just want to play this game for that alone. I know it's like super shallow and the game has more depth than that, but it looks beautiful. This is a beautiful ARPG, dude.
Filled with grenades and pepper your enemies with your automatic shotgun. If you're looking to take a backseat and let your minions do the work, then the witch should be your choice. She can call forth hordes of undead monsters
A
to
witch?
fight for her while casting powerful
Oh,
chaos
so this
spells
is like
that facilitate her
Necromancer.
enemies. Occult skills are some of the most varied in the game, with skeletons, noxious spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial magic. Before we talk about minions, we'll have to talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit. This
Okay.
is a spirit gem, which allows you to pick from a range of persistent skills. All classes have a variety of these skills which can add some very interesting effects, like Arctic Armor, which does cold damage to enemies that hit you, or Raging Spirits, which summon fiery skulls each time you cast
Oh
a
my
fire spell.
gosh.
For the Witch, though, we'll want to be using our spirit to create permanent minions. These minions will be revived automatically when they die, so you don't have to worry about resummoning them all the time. Here, I'm using the skill screen to allocate which minion.
So I read in their development that they got their hands on a Steam Deck and they said it was running okay at 40 frames per second. I know it's not I know not to expect like the world from a Steam Deck, but I really hope you can play this on the go on the Steam Deck. I have one and I really hope it's playable. But because it's just so beautiful, I would be overjoyed that if it would play on the Steam Deck.
Minions I would like in my horde. You can see the spirit cost of each one. Skeletal warriors are cheap but weak, useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more heavy hitters in my army, so I'm going to unsummon some warriors and instead add skeletal arsonists.
Okay.
Permanent minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and varied effects.
Nice.
If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This new weapon type is imbued with even more spirit, allowing you to summon even more friends.
Wow.
And if you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions. But
Jeez.
what can a witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of chaos spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or bone skills to impale them. Or, you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down. There are
Crazy.
25 active occult skills. By the endgame, you will be the leader of a fearsome army of the dead.
So
consuming
many
everything in its path.
minions.
The sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them
Okay.
to unleash devastation on her foes. This classic spellcaster weaves a flurry of
Nice.
elemental magic from afar. The
So
elemental
lightning.
skills have everything you might expect and more. Fireballs, icy explosions, lightning storms,
Okay.
you get the idea.
Yeah.
Each spell is unique and has many different ways to build and combo with
Yeah, I like this Jonathan guy. He's giving me a bunch of cool stuff.
others, even between different elements. For example, Flame Wall conjures a burning line that not only damages enemies, but also empowers
No!
the projectiles that pass through it. If you
Oh
place
my
a wall and fire
gosh!
lightning sparks through it, they'll get
That's
extra fire
amazing.
damage. It's a good idea to take advantage of the ability to automatically swap weapons when you use certain skills. Having a special staff
Oh.
with bonuses to fire skills and another with bonuses to lightning skills can really power up a combo like this.
Dude, that is
The
awesome.
sorceress can also take advantage of powerful
So you can swap weapons and have skills. Wow, have skill bonuses on those weapons, dude. The depth of this game already, just oh my gosh.
trigger gems.
I think they're
For
going
example,
hard.
You could grab the Cast and Ignite gem and use it with Firestorm. As you ignite enemies, a counter will go up in the top left corner. When it's full, a Firestorm will automatically be cast at the enemy that was ignited. There are 25 active elemental skills. By endgame, you'll be firing off projectiles left and right as you rain down elemental storms on your foes.
It's so
Now,
beautiful.
those are the characters that will be available at the start of early access, but we will be adding 6 more character classes with just as many skills and options as these. There's a lot more to come. There's one more important thing to mention about skills. Even though we talk about them as belong to each class, in reality there are no restrictions. You can use all these skills on any class so long as you have the attributes.
What?
For example, a poison ranger might want to try out using occult curses to increase her poison damage.
Yo,
Or a monk
what?
might want to trigger elemental ice walls to use with his glacial cascade combo.
Oh my
The possibilities for
gosh.
cross-class combos are practically unlimited. We're looking forward to what kind of things you guys might find.
Seriously.
Path of Exile is a game known for build customization.
Okay, I knew Path of Exile was crazy. But like, what? They're breaking the mold. It's like, okay, this class does this class does that. But you know what we think would be really cool is that you can still pick those classes, but you get access to them all. What? Oh, that just like accelerates the combinations of potential, like like you said, unlimited. Oh my gosh.
And we haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible yet.
What?
So let's talk about support gems.
Okay. What do these do?
Path of Exile 2 has a system of support gems that can be combined with your active skills to dramatically change the way they work. If
Oh
you
my
find
gosh.
a support gem, then right-clicking it will open up this screen.
Wait, so you have a skill that can be on any class, but then you can put a gem and change that skill? Even if, like, so you're saying I could be a ranger getting a wizard skill, but then I get a gem that changes the wizard skill even further. Oh my gosh.
Here you will find a variety of recommended
That
support
is
gems for
amazing.
each of your skills that you can pick between. For example, this is a multiple projectiles support gem and can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill. Normally, when you fire a grenade, it'll look like this.
Okay.
But if we add multiple projectiles, then you get 3 of them.
Nice.
Once you have the gem, you can also freely move it between any of the skills on your character. If you want to have a multi-shot sniper rifle
No
instead,
way.
then simply move the gem over to your high-velocity round skill. Generally speaking, if it sounds like a support gem should work with a skill, then it will work. So it's a good idea to experiment.
That is so
Note that
awesome,
you can
dude.
only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully about which supports can be used best with each skill for maximum damage.
Okay. Cool.
Now, if you want to stick to the recommendations, you should have a perfectly good time. But if you want to experiment a bit more, then uncheck that recommended button and you can see the full list of supports that will work with your skill.
Oh my
Of support gems to choose
gosh.
from, and even we don't know the results of all the possible ways these can interact.
Oh my.
Each skill can have up to 5 supports.
Oh my. What the. Oh my goodness. My mind, dude. How are they even supporting all that? I'm shocked.
Socketed into it. And if you're clever, you can come up with some pretty interesting ideas.
What the
Now,
heck?
all of this is just scratching the surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat. Make enemies set each other on fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground. Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build, or at least follow someone's OP build guide. So, speaking of builds, let's talk about one of the most...
Okay, before he goes, this feels like Minecraft for, like, abilities. Like, you could just build anything. And it, like, maybe Minecraft's not the right word, but, you know, like, it has that unlimited potential of creativity. Like, I don't think I've come across a game like that. Like, you have your character and you have your set skills, and that's that. This is something else. This is... Wow. I've never... Wow, dude. This is like... I can't believe this.
Most iconic Path of Exile systems, the passive skill tree. Yes, it's huge. There are over 1,500 nodes on it. Now, a lot of people open the tree and can get a little intimidated at first.
Okay, that was 100% me. It is me. I'm raising my hand. I don't have a webcam, but I'm raising my hand. And, yeah, I am intimidated by this, Jonathan. Please help me.
But try not to be scared.
Okay, I won't.
There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple. Each level, you get 1 point to put into the tree.
Okay.
Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree. Around your section of the tree, you'll find relevant bonuses for your character.
Okay.
You should be safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here. Almost all the...
Oh, thank you. There aren't many wrong choices, but maybe there are some. But hey, the majority of them, so maybe like 85% of them, I'll be all right. I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Starting nodes will be useful for your character in some way. But if you do happen to make a choice you regret, you'll be able to respec any nodes you've taken by spending a little bit of gold.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Now, the tree is generally divided up into clusters which have similar themes. In each cluster, you will find small nodes that give simple bonuses like increased damage, but the real power comes from notables. Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses, and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills to not consume a bolt.
Ooh.
And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time.
Ooh.
This one gives a chance for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as giving you some
Yo, what?
Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes.
Oh my, dude, he's just like, okay, don't forget this. Like, this works on every other skill too. Just like, this is mind-blowing, dude. This is so cool. I don't even have to watch the rest of the video. I am going to watch the rest of the video. But like, I'm pretty much all the way there for playing this game. But man, what the heck?
So there are often reasons to go to different areas of the tree. In order to get between these clusters, you will generally have to allocate nodes in the attribute highways. Attribute nodes allow you to pick which attribute you would like to use, so it's very easy to get points for any attribute that your gear might need. You can change which attribute these nodes give you for half price at the respec vendor.
Okay.
In addition to notables, you will also find even larger passives called keystones.
Ooh.
Keystones have both an upside and a downside, and often require changing your entire build to design around them. A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to wield two-hand weapons in a single hand,
okay, like
but
Fury,
doubles the
Titan's
attribute
grip.
requirements of them.
Oh.
You can use a two-hand mace with a shield, or even dual wield them.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Or how about Mind Over Matter, which makes all damage go to your mana pool first before your life pool, but you lose 50% of your mana regen. Skills like these can be tough to build around, but if you're up for the challenge, they can be very rewarding.
Interesting.
So
they have like those ultimate ones that are like, hey, we challenge you to make a good build around this. Interesting. I like it.
Sorceress. You can swap between weapon sets on the fly as you use certain skills. One of the new features in Path of Exile 2's passive tree is that you can choose to have your passive tree change as you switch between weapon sets to take advantage of specific bonuses on the tree. For the sorceress, you might want to change from fire and lightning specialization. Or you could switch between one-hand and a two-hand setup in order to be able to block boss attacks while following up with heavy hits from your bigger mace.
This is an early access game, by the way. This is a full-fledged game. What do you mean? This is insane.
Or perhaps you could have a full curse setup on your witch to debuff enemies before switching to a chaos degen build for maximum damage. If you want to stick with just one weapon set, you can just use these specialization points as bonus points to invest however you like, but creative players will find plenty of opportunities with this system.
Amazing.
You can get weapon specialization points throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests. For example,
Nice.
if I manage to defeat the Crowbell, I'll get a weapon specialization book.
Okay.
There are lots of other permanent boosts available from the campaign too. On the map you can see icons that indicate the many optional encounters you can find. Some of them have permanent character boosts, and others have powerful items. If you're having trouble getting past a boss, it might be a good idea to explore and see what you can find. For example, if you defeat Blackjaw the Remnant, you'll gain a permanent increase to fire resistance.
Okay.
One of the most important
I
fighters
like
are
that.
spirit bonuses. You can find the first one here in the canopy in Act 1. Defeat the boss in this area to acquire a permanent addition of spirit. The permanent buffs you gain from spirit are very powerful, and every class will find a use for them. So make sure
Nice.
you hunt down these upgrades. There's one in each act.
Okay.
Now we haven't even talked about the most important element of character progression.
All right, this is
items.
big.
That's why we're all here, right?
Yes, this is why we're
Items
here,
in Path of
Jonathan.
Exile can be broken down into 4 rarity groups.
Okay.
Normal, magic, rare, and unique.
Very cool. I like it. It's
One of the
simple.
things you're going to want to do as you play through the campaign is upgrade the items you find. And you can do that with currency items.
Okay.
An Orb of Transmutation will allow you to upgrade a normal item to a magic item with 1 mod. You can then
Okay.
apply an Orb of Augmentation to add a 2nd mod,
Okay.
then use a Regal Orb to add a 3rd mod, and upgrade it to
Whoa.
a rare. Finally, you can use some Exalted Orbs to add more mods to your rare to a total of 6 mods.
Wow.
One of the things we think is really important is to make these options available to use as you play. All the items that add mods are much more common than they were in Path of Exile 1, so that you can use them throughout
Heck
your
yeah,
campaign
dude.
playthrough. We want you to find things on the ground that can be crafted into upgrades much more frequently.
Nice.
As well as making the drop rates
I
of these
love
items
that.
much more common, you can also get them by disenchanting unwanted gear at the magic item vendor. If you disenchant magic items, you can build up to an Orb of Transmutation, and by disenchanting rares, you can build up to Regal Orbs.
Okay.
Another important area of crafting items in
That just seems like a currency system that makes sense. It's like, here, we want you to spend these currencies. We want you to be creative as a player, and we're going to make them drop so you can be. We're not going to like time gate you behind this stuff. These are going to drop freely, and you're going to be able to upgrade your gear. That is smart. It keeps the player engaged. It keeps the player coming back, and it keeps me getting into the game. You almost got me. Like I'm already there, dude. Like this is insane looking. It's so cool.
PoE 2 is sockets. Some items you find will have
Oh
sockets that can
my
have
gosh.
Ezomite runes placed in them that add more mods to the item. If I insert this glacial rune into my helmet, it will give extra cold resistance. This is a great way to solve
Okay.
problems that you have with your build, like resistances or damage. If you find socketed items that you don't have a use for, you can take them to the salvage bench in town to work towards an artificer's orb. This will allow you to add sockets to your existing items.
Oh, nice.
Body armors and 2-hand weapons can have up to 2 sockets, while the rest of your armor and 1-hand weapons can only have 1 socket.
That's simple.
You can also salvage items with quality to create items like armor scraps or whetstones. These will allow you to increase the quality of your items for an up to 20% boost.
Nice.
If you don't want to disenchant or salvage your items, you can always sell them for gold. Gold can be used to buy items from vendors, and we've tried to do a lot to make sure that the items they have for sale are actually useful.
Oh,
Every
shoot.
time you level up, they get
That is huge right there. Every time I go to a vendor in any ARPG, their items suck, and what is the point of them? If they do what they say there, that's huge. That's a big deal. Like, vendors actually matter.
more stock, so make sure to check back often. Other vendors offer a gamble. Pay a flat amount of gold and you'll get a random item of a specific type.
Okay, that's like Kadala in D3.
This could be a great way to improve your gear, if you're lucky. Gold is also used to respec your passive skills. Take advantage of this system to experiment with your tree and rework it as required. The other thing you might want to use gold for is the currency exchange. This allows you to exchange currency items with other players on an open market, in exchange for a small gold fee. Now all
Heck
items in
yeah.
Path of Exile are freely tradable.
One of my biggest fears, and I think this is with any game and it goes without saying, but I will say it, are bots. And I really hope that the systems they do with trading, open markets, or any auction house type things are heavily that there's rule sets based around them. So I really hope there's no dupes. I really hope there's some real security around the items, because it just, you lose any sense of like feeling that your items are valuable if you don't have those systems in place to protect against cheats, dupes, and anything like that. I can't imagine they would go this far into development and not have those systems in place. So it would just be one of my main questions, like how are they handling that, you know?
We never bind anything to your character, except gold.
Oh, shoot.
Now, most gear in Path of Exile 2 is randomly generated, but there's another type that isn't. Uniques. They are especially rare, each with a handcrafted set of unusual mods which can dramatically change a character's build. They're not just better rare items, they can do much stranger things that can fundamentally change your character.
Ooh.
Corpse Wade will make any corpses you run through explode into clouds of poison.
Heck yeah.
The Sands of Silk is a body armor that changes your dodge roll into a blink, morphing you into sand as you teleport past your foes.
That is dope.
And of course, some uniques are just pure hits of dopamine, like Quill Rain, which just turns your bow attacks into full auto by doubling your attack speed.
Jeez, dude. That's so cool.
Each unique is something that you can build your character around. We try to make sure that most unique items have a potential use at endgame, even if you find them early on.
Look
And
at
as
that
you can
armor,
see,
dude.
Every single unique item comes with custom art to match.
Amazing.
The last character progression system that you can do during the campaign is Ascension. Starting in Act 2, you will come across Ascension trials, tests that you must complete to unlock your Ascension class. We'll explain these trials soon, but first let's take a look at what Ascending can do for your character.
Okay.
Each class has access to 3 Ascendancy classes, but at the start of early access, only 2 per class will be available. Ascendancy classes are unique to each character class, so choose wisely. They can drastically affect how you build your character.
Wow.
As a sorceress, you could become a Stormweaver, a master of the elements.
Ooh.
Tempest Caller causes elemental storms to be summoned each time you do a critical hit with a spell.
Oh my gosh.
With Strike Twice, you can stack 2 copies.
Okay, the game is insane. I'm just gonna say it. Like, what? I can't even put my thoughts together. It's like, here's a class, here's skills tied to this class, but wait, those skills that were tied to that class can be with any class, but wait, there's gems that you can do, and you put those into the skills that can be tied from any class into those skills, and it changes the skill. And then there's the weapon, there's the passive skill tree, and then on top of that, each class has ascendancy classes. What? The depth is mind-blowing, dude. I cannot comprehend. This is like setting up the players to play for thousands of hours if you fully play this game. Man, I hope the endgame loop is good.
Of shock for more damage. And going deeper into the tree, you can make all your damage types apply shock. Make a shock build from any skill. Alternatively, you could become a Chronomancer
Nice.
and command time itself.
Classic.
She literally has the ability to stop time with Time Freeze.
Oh,
She has many other time manipulation abilities.
that is
Using
so good.
Temporal Rift, she can teleport back to a previous location, resetting her life and mana back to what it was. Or with Time Snap, she can reset all her cooldowns and cast all her spells again.
Yes.
On the Warrior, you can choose between the Warbringer or the Titan. The Warbringer channels the might of his ancestors to gain tremendous power. Using Answered Call, you can summon ancestral spirits like each of your tokens.
Oh, I love this.
With
I
Jade
love this
Heritage, you can encase your
ancestral
body in a
stuff,
protective
dude.
layer that absorbs all damage until it breaks.
Oh my
Caller's
gosh.
Bellow allows you to explode the corpses of your enemies.
Okay,
And with Great
kind of
Wolf's
like a
Howl, you can ignore
necromancer.
the cooldowns of your war cries. Let all that anger out.
Nice.
The Titan class is all about hitting big. With
Ooh.
Earthbreaker, every slam is a chance to create an aftershock.
Jeez.
With Crushing Impacts, every hit becomes a crushing blow, which will allow you to stun your enemies with ease.
Whoa.
With Surprising Strength, you can take advantage of stunned enemies to deal 40% more damage. As a ranger, you
Damn.
choose to be a Deadeye, an expert markswoman who can take down foes with style. With Endless Munitions, every attack gains an extra projectile. With Gathering Winds, she gains a small increase to movement speed with every attack. But be careful, she loses them when getting hit. With
So you
Eagle
could be
Eye,
like
she will never
ultra
miss,
fast if you
allowing
just
to
never
stop
get hit?
wasting all those passive points on
That's awesome.
accuracy. Alternatively, you could become a Pathfinder, the master of flasks and poison.
Interesting.
She can choose from one of several throwable concoctions.
Like in D&D, I know Ranger is always like the weakest. I mean, it's not the weakest, but it's like it always seems like the blandest to me personally. I know it's not to everybody, but like even with this, even though that is kind of like the place where I'm coming from, this seems super spicy. Like thematically, they have nailed everything they've shown me so far. It's just amazing.
Options, allowing her to spend her flask charges to throw explosive bottles that deal various types of damage. A bleeding concoction will make your enemies bleed, while a fulminating one can shock your enemies, allowing you to do extra damage. Contagious contamination allows her to spread poisons between her foes, while overwhelming toxicity doubles the number of stacks they can be infected by. Running assault allows her to move much more quickly while firing, while relentless pursuit makes her totally immune to being slowed.
That WASD movement looks so good.
The witch can ascend into the Infernalist or the Blood Mage. As an Infernalist, she can summon a loyal Hellhound companion. The Hellhound sets enemies on fire, as well as taking a percentage of the damage of the Infernalist.
That guy looks pretty awesome.
With Pyromantic Pact, you can turn your mana into Infernal Flame. As you cast more spells, the flame builds up.
What
and
the
if it
heck?
overflows, you'll take damage. Using Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your Infernal Flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies.
Dude, that is dope. It's like
She can also
a riff on
into a
how
literal
mana
demon.
works. What the heck?
While in demon form, she takes an increasing amount of damage, but her cast speed and damage increase rapidly as well. So if
Wild.
you're planning on transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life recovery. She can also become a Blood Mage, a master of life and energy.
Whoa.
All Blood Mages must pay the price of making skills cost life as well as mana, but in exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which allow them to quickly gain back that life.
Jeez, dude, this is so
With
cool.
Crimson Power, she can gain large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon, she can use her spells to leech life back as well. Once you've got a significant amount of life, you can use Gore Spike to make your critical hits deal incredible amounts of damage. A monk who is in tune with the elements might become an Invoker. With Elemental Expression, the Invoker will create waves of elemental power each time he does a critical strike.
Wow.
Faith is a choice. You gain the ability to meditate, allowing you to double your energy shield.
Nice.
Choose between I am the Blizzard or I am the Thunder to specialize in cold.
I like
or
those
lightning.
names of the skills.
And I Shall Rage will allow you to turn into an unbound avatar.
I am the thunder and I shall
Status ailment
rage.
To an enemy, you gain Unbound Fury. When you have enough, transform into an avatar to deal way more damage and
No
even more elemental
way.
ailments.
That's
Some
awesome.
monks choose to reach into the darkness instead. The Acolyte of Chayula can exchange their mastery of spirit for darkness, a resource that can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage. The Shroud
Jeez.
of Darkness will protect you from all.
Can I just say I love the text and the item, like the item UI. I know this is like super nerdy and detailed, but I really like how they have it organized. The blue text is like super classic and it looks great. And the text they've chosen is just like their own and it looks really good. I know it's super nerdy, but just an observation.
All damage incoming. But if you take Grasp of the Void, you will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness you have. Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to chaos damage and can allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly, but apply to their energy shield as well. Another node you can take is Waking Dream, which allows you to see into the domain of the Breach Demons.
Interesting.
There you will see the Flames of Chayula that can be taken to gain life, mana, and damage.
Wow. It's so
The Mercenary
beautiful.
has a job to do, but which job suits you? You might choose to become a Witch Hunter. Obsessive Rituals will give you a sorcery ward, allowing you to defend yourself against elemental hits in exchange for less defense against attacks.
Interesting.
Zealous Inquisition, your enemies have a 10% chance to explode on death.
I feel like the
Chances double for
mercenaries
demons and
specifically, it's like you're playing Overwatch, the original Overwatch, and this is Soldier 76. That's what I feel like the mercenary is gonna be. But hey, I mean he'll be the running gunner, right?
With Judge, Jury, and Executioner, your initial hit against enemies can deal up to 30% of their life and damage, if you're lucky. This is great for hunting powerful bosses. And with Witchbane, you can break your enemy's concentration, preventing them from casting spells as often as they would usually do.
This is like they took Grim Dawn, I think is the ARPG, where it's just the guy with the crossbow, and they're like, yeah, we'll just take that whole class and put it into a piece of our game, and that'll be just a part of our game. Like, they're just consuming every ARPG, taking everything, but making it way better. I just love it.
You could also choose to become a Gemling Legionnaire, enhancing your abilities by embedding gems directly in your flesh. Integrated Efficiency will give you extra skill slots. Thermatological Infusion gives you extra maximum resistances as you socket more and more support gems. Adaptive Capability allows you to use any color of gem without worrying about attributes, while Crystalline Potential adds extra quality bonuses to every gem socketed into your character. So those are the Ascendancy classes for the start of Early Access. But one thing we haven't talked about yet is how you ascend in the first place.
Yeah, tell us, Jonathan, how do you ascend?
Path of Exile 2 requires completion of one of the Great Trials, which you'll find as you progress through the campaign.
Oh my gosh.
Each one is associated with one of the major cultures of Rayclast. Located in the Vasteri Plains are the Maraketh, a culture of rich tales and brutal traditions, who must do whatever it takes to survive in the desert. The highest...
Beautiful setting after beautiful setting. Beautiful lore after beautiful lore. Deeper and deeper. It's sucking me in. Dude, I cannot believe this game. This is just a reveal, dude. This is not even the game.
Position in Maraketh culture is a Sekima, and it is not a title given freely. All aspirants must complete the Trial of the Sekimas.
Wow.
A grueling gauntlet that will test their strength, will, cunning, and patience. To enter, a warrior of the Maraketh must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different. Once you have earned your coin, it will be placed on the relic altar to begin the trial.
Okay.
In the Trial of the Sekimas, each room has its own challenges to overcome.
Okay.
In this room, each rare monster you kill will send its blood to the chalice in the center of the room. Once the chalice is filled, you will be able to proceed.
Okay.
While fighting monsters in the trial, you will need to be very careful. Each hit will not only hurt you, but will damage your honor. The monsters are well telegraphed, so that you can avoid their attacks, but if you run out of honor, you will fail the trial and need to find another coin in order to try again.
Oh, jeez.
It is a good idea to make sure that you are well prepared before challenging the Trial of the Sekimas.
Insane.
After each room, you will be rewarded. In this case, you have been given a key that can be used to unlock chests later in the trial. Once you have claimed your reward, you will be shown a map of the rest of the floor and may choose how you wish to proceed.
What the heck?
Which challenges would you like to face, and which rewards do you want to claim? Some rooms are more dangerous, afflicting you with debuffs that will persist for the entire trial. For example, entering this room will afflict you with spiked shock that will cause all monsters in the rest of the trial to have 50% increased life.
How many times do you do these trials? Is it just like once to ascend? Or is this like, you can keep doing this? Because this is cool. This seems like it could be cool.
You will want to take care if you choose such a path. There are many different challenges and rewards as you journey through the trial. Deadly traps, waves of monsters, and strange artifacts will test your honor. As you progress, you'll be able to gain boons from the djinn, which will help you on your journey. For example, the Sekima's cloak will revive you once if...
Having just played like World of Warcraft most recently, this is like Delves where they drop like rare abilities to help your character along the way. It's not nearly as like expanded as this is, but like, man, this is such a cool idea. I know it's done before, but this seems, in addition to everything else they've shown, it seems like well done, way well done.
If you die, giving you a second shot at a run. One of the rewards you may find is Sacred Water, an extremely valuable and treasured resource to the djinn and the Maraketh. Trading it with the djinn will allow you to receive many benefits. You can recover honor, gain additional boons, or remove afflictions. At the end of the floor, you'll find a powerful boss which will truly test your limitations.
Nice.
In order to ascend, you will need to defeat him.
Okay. So maybe these are hard enough to where you're doing it for a while.
The boss, you've earned the right to ascend. But first, the loot.
Ooh.
The keys you have found may be used to open the various treasures in the vault at the end of the floor. We only have a single bronze key, so we'll just have to open one of these small chests. If you want to open the better ones, you'll need silver or gold keys. Let's use the Altar of Ascendancy. Your first ascension will allow you to pick your class and grant you 2 points to use in the tree.
Oh,
Now there are more floors and many more rewards that can be found within the Trial of the Secumus, but we'll save that for the section on the endgame. For now, let's talk about the second Ascendancy trial, the Trial of Chaos. In
What?
Path of Exile 2, you can choose whichever trial you like to earn your ascension. Each culture on Rayclast had their own methods to ascend. If the Trial of the Secumus is
Wow.
not your kind of playstyle, or you're finding it too difficult, you could try another. You can gain all your ascension points from just one, or mix and match them. It's up to
no
you.
way. That's
For
awesome.
early access, we will have 2 trials as options, with a 3rd trial coming later for the full release. While exploring the Vaal jungle, you'll discover the Temple of Chaos. Before the Vaal embraced
That is
the science
beautiful.
of corruption, their civilization worshipped chaos. This ancient trial was once used by the Vaal to test their high priest.
Dude, the setting on this is so insane. I've said it multiple times already, but like the setting that they're putting the player in, it's so beautiful. The lore, it's just like sucking me in. How can you say no to this?
A high priest of the Vaal must show willingness to risk everything to gain power. Entry to the trial requires a token from a strange entity known only as the Trial Master. For those in which he sees potential, he shall inscribe an ultimatum. Many have attempted these trials in search of greatness. Most have perished. Will you be able to defy the odds?
I want to.
Before you begin each chamber, the Trial Master will offer you a reward and a choice. Choose one of 3 tribulations to affect you through the rest of the trial. These modifiers might beef up the monster.
That UI is so good looking. Look at that. That is so like just right there in the game. It's unique, but it just blends in, but not enough so you can still see it. Man, I'm nerding out about that. That looks so good.
Monsters, curse the player, or add environmental hazards like turrets or trap runes. In this case, we'll be picking shocking turrets. As you enter the room, the Trial Master will fill it with hazards to test your commitment. In this case, you must destroy all the...
Okay, I'm a little more than halfway through this, and I will say, like, I'm trying to keep up and remember everything, but I think I gotta watch this video a couple times to do that, because there is just so much. I'm gonna keep watching and do my best, but man, there is so much. Like, I know Path of Exile 1 was big, but this feels so big. This feels like literally 3 or 4 games in one. Like in today's standards. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but like today's standard of game is just so low compared to, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And man, I'm excited for this.
The monsters that fill the room, while dealing with the lightning projectiles from the shocking turrets. After each room, you will need to make a choice. Take the rewards you have earned so far, or go double or nothing. Increase your rewards. but
Ooh,
take
I
on
like
more
that.
risks.
Stakes are high.
Each tribulation you add is minor on its own, but they quickly stack on top of each other and can become overwhelming.
Okay.
There are many types of chambers in the trial. Each will test your resolve in different ways. This one simply requires you survive for a certain amount of time.
Ooh.
Another requires you to escort the stone idol through the level as elevators full of monsters descend to attack you.
Oh my gosh.
Should you be able to get
Oh,
the first
look
3
at that
chambers,
boss,
you will face
dude.
your first
That is
boss.
beautiful.
The order of the bosses is random, and combined with the tribulations you have selected, the fight will never feel the same.
I want to play this game so bad.
After
It just
defeating
looks
the
so
boss, you
good.
Claim your rewards. Of course, there are the items, but you also gain the right to ascend. If you already did the Trial of the Secumus, then you can claim 2 more points to add to your Ascendancy class. Now, it's possible to go much deeper. There are more bosses, rewards, and risks to take, but we'll talk more about that when we get to Endgame.
We're not in the
How
end
about we
game
talk
yet.
about that now?
Okay, now we are.
So far, we've only been showing you footage from the campaign.
What? That isn't even the end game? Oh my.
But some people would argue that the end game is where the game truly begins.
Oh my
Happens
gosh.
almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying, there isn't enough in-game content. Well, we want to make sure that in PoE 2, people don't feel that way. And we actually
Wow.
only changed our development priority for this recently.
What?
The first 3 acts of PoE 2 already take around 25 hours to complete if you're a new player. This
Okay.
is already a pretty significant campaign.
I mean, that's pretty. Oh my. Oh shoot, dude! Like I knew the Path of Exile was like crazy in the amount of hours it took, but okay. And the fact that they're saying like, "Hey, players, say like, we have no end game. There's nothing to do." Like in Diablo 4, I played Diablo 4. I played Diablo 4, and I got to the end. I hit 100 or whatever it is, and there was just nothing to do. It was like I didn't even play the first season. I think I came back for the second season. Didn't want to play it because it sucked. I came back for the 4th season where they kind of changed some stuff around. It felt a little better, but it was still like it kept me for like a week, and I was like, I don't care. But they're acknowledging that directly, the developers, and they're saying, no, we hear that. We don't want you to have nothing to do. And so hopefully they, well, this screen alone, it says, yeah, so here's all your gameplay. Everything we just showed you was just a little bit. Here's the rest. Oh my gosh.
On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in Endgame each league. We realized that finishing the rest of the campaign for early access was actually a bad idea. Instead of having acts 4 to 6 in early access, we could concentrate on Endgame and make that great.
Nice.
For new players, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with lots of content. But for existing action RPG players, what you mostly care about is all the endgame challenges to overcome.
Yeah.
So several months ago, we switched the entire development team's focus over to making endgame content. At the start of early access, there will be 50 bosses and around 400 monster types.
Whoa.
The great thing is that the rest of the game is like 80% there. We'll be adding content to roughly double the size of the game during early access and into release.
What?
Now, in order to make the endgame happen at the same character level as what it would be after we added the rest of the acts, we've added a second difficulty level called Cruel.
Okay.
Where you repeat the campaign with all the monsters and bosses leveled up. And of course, new rewards. You can kind of think of it as like a new game plus.
Okay.
It's also a lot faster to get through the content the second time as your clear speed increases. That will take you to around level 65, where the endgame begins. Once we add the remaining 3 acts, we'll be removing Cruel difficulty, so you'll progress straight from the end of Act 6 to endgame. But what is the endgame?
Yeah,
To
what is
explain
it?
that, I'll hand over to Mark. He can tell you all about it.
That's a good plan, by the way.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts.
What's up, Mark?
Game director on Path of Exile 2. Well, one thing that Path of Exile is known for is having a lot of distinct endgame content to choose between. Each endgame mechanic needs to have its own progression system, areas, bosses, rewards, and
Okay.
player power that can only be gained from that content. We are going to be adding a lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2, we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress through.
Okay, just 7, right?
This
Oh my
is the
gosh.
Atlas, and
What
it serves
the
as the
heck?
core of the endgame
What
for
is
Path of
this
Exile
game,
2.
dude?
It's infinite and expands in all directions.
What?
We are not going to spoil the plot too much here, but corruption from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the
What?
center of the Atlas, you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Val research the fundamentals of space and time.
Are these
Here,
all
we can
places?
open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources.
Are these all places to
In
go?
order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone has a tier which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face. To go to an area, simply click one that is adjacent to an area that you have already completed. Insert
Okay.
the waystone and click Traverse. Portals will open, allowing you and your party to travel to the area you have selected. All
Okay.
the areas in the endgame feel distinct from the locations in the campaign, and we
Oh
have
my
dialed the
gosh.
randomization up to 11. The monster
That's
packs you will face in
huge.
each map are totally random, and the combination of them can lead to some very interesting combat situations. There are
Wow.
over 400 monster types in early access, and they have a lot of varied and interesting abilities. Depending on which combinations you face, you might find some serious challenges. In order to cleanse the corruption from the area, you will need to defeat all the powerful rare and unique enemies in it. Once you have done that, the area will be marked as completed and you will be able to travel past it to progress deeper into the world.
Oh, okay, and a
If you
waystone drops
die,
right
then
there.
the map can no longer be run, and you will have to find another way around to get to the areas behind it.
Oh,
There
shoot.
are also all kinds of other random encounters you might run into as you play maps. One such encounter are precursor artifacts. These are ancient, corrupting monuments that irradiate the monsters around them. The monsters that feed off the corruption are drawn to their power. If you
Oh my
defeat the monsters
gosh.
and cleanse the artifact, you will get a powerful temporary buff. Some of the buffs make you faster, others rain lightning or fire around you, and some even give you increased experience or help you find better items. You can also find strong boxes.
Those are like
These
overpowered
enigmatic
shrines.
chests guard piles of treasure, but are always a trap. Monsters lie in wait to attack you the moment you open it, and the boxes often have mechanisms to unleash powerful spells or dangerous debuffs. There are different types of strong boxes containing different items, and you can even use your currency items to craft them on the fly, so you can optimize the contents. But be careful of opening one you can't handle.
Wow. So you can like make it better, but you're risking more? That's really cool.
Sometimes you'll discover monsters frozen in essences, solidified crystalline corruption. These
Okay.
dangerous monsters can be broken free. If you defeat them, the essence they drop can be used to upgrade normal items to magic items with a guaranteed mod from a category.
Nice. So upgrades
For example,
for
we could
guaranteed.
use this one on some boots to ensure a movement speed mod.
Okay.
Rarely, essences will also drop that allow you to
So it's like you can control the customization and direction of an item by specifically targeting bits of gameplay. That's powerful.
upgrade magics to rares, adding the guaranteed mod. This is incredibly powerful since it allows you to get a second deterministic mod in your crafting projects. Combining these with the currencies that are commonly found in Rayclast for modifying items, and we can get a very nice pair of boots indeed.
It's pretty nice indeed.
Waystones, like all items, can also be crafted using your currency items.
What?
Adding prefix mods will improve the rewards, while suffix mods increase danger. The more dangerous a map is, the more waystones will drop. Adding mods to your waystones is key to progressing to higher tiers and sustaining them, but it will require you to take on larger challenges. There are a variety of
No risk, no reward, right, boys?
factors you have to consider when crafting your waystones. Some maps will have higher density, some lower, some have more magic and rare chests, or monsters, some are more linear, and others more open. Make sure you explore and think about what makes certain maps good if you want to maximize your returns.
Wow.
As you cleanse corruption from higher and higher tiers of the Atlas, you will gain points that you can spend in the Atlas tree. This tree allows you to juice the danger and rewards of all areas in the endgame.
This isn't the passive tree? There's another there's another skill tree. Why am I still surprised? Like, of course there's another skill tree. Okay. All right. I'm accepting what this game is about. I am kind of understanding it more. If you think that there are if you think that the game is big, it's probably 10 times bigger.
You could increase the number of monsters, the number of rares, the number of precursor artifacts or strongboxes, even the quantity of item drops. As you explore the endgame world map, you'll notice various different biomes, from snow-capped mountains to dense jungle valleys. Most maps are restricted to certain biomes. As you continue to explore deeper into the Atlas, there are all sorts of things to discover.
Wow.
These cities are constructed by different peoples of Rayclast, and have specific items that can be found there. These strange structures marked on the map don't appear to do anything for now. Perhaps you'll work out how to use them later. You might find unique maps like Untainted Paradise, an undisturbed island full of beasts that give an extreme amount of experience. You may even find a lonely man just enjoying his retirement who will give you a unique item for free. In addition, you can find special areas that would make a good spot to set up camp. Clear these areas of their hostile inhabitants, and you'll be able to claim them as your own hideout. You can decorate your hideout as you see fit and invite various NPCs to join you there to create your own personal base of operations. A great tool for exploration are towers. These mysterious precursor constructs are dotted around the Atlas. Completing the tower will reveal a large area around it, allowing you to scout out your next challenge. There are lots of things to find, so keep looking. Some sections of your Atlas are influenced by corruption. This adds extra modifiers to the maps in the region, increasing difficulty and rewards. Here,
Just when I
slaying
thought-
monsters in close proximity to each other will cause the vestiges of corruption within them to merge together, forming powerful and grotesque abominations.
Wow.
You may have noticed while looking at the atlas that some of the areas have these icons above them. The icon indicates that the area contains some kind of special encounter. This icon indicates that the
Okay.
area has a powerful boss. Because only
Nice.
1 in 4 maps contain a map boss, we are able to make them very powerful and very rewarding. These bosses come from the campaign, but have had their difficulty increased with changes to AI and some of their abilities. It's worth
Oh
noting that
my
because you can
gosh.
see with
Okay, that's huge. With changes to their artificial intelligence. That is huge. It's not that they just slapped on more health or they made them a little faster. They changed their AI, dude. That's huge right there. That's going to be awesome.
where the bosses are, you can choose to take them on or avoid them. If you do choose to hunt bosses though, then you will be rewarded with special points for the boss hunting section of the Atlas skill tree. The points here will allow you to specialize in boss killing, giving you much greater rewards for defeating them. For each different type of content in the endgame, we are adding specialized trees in order to make it so you don't feel the need to respec your points when you change between different types of content. We will be
What?
showing you 7 of these by the end of this presentation, so there is still a lot more to come. Bosses are not the
Oh
only
my
icon you will see
gosh.
on the Atlas. Let's take a look at one of the endgame systems, Breach. If you played PoE 1, you might be familiar with Breach. For PoE 2, we have created sequels to several PoE 1 leagues. While the mechanic
Okay.
is familiar, the monsters, bosses, rewards, and progression are all new. A breach is a tear in the fabric of reality. Opening it will allow you to see the demons and otherworldly monstrosities that lie in wait on this other plane of existence.
Okay.
By engaging with a breach, you'll create a bridge between their world and Rayclast. In order to keep the breach open, you will need to kill the demons that pour forth. The faster you can kill the monsters, the more monsters you will fight, and the more loot you will find. You can also find clasped hands
Wow.
that will open and drop more items if you run over them. These can be a good boost to the rewards of the breach, so keep an eye out. One of the rewards that you may find while fighting monsters from Breach are tablets.
Okay.
Tablets are special items that can be used with precursor towers to add more encounters to the Atlas.
What?
Breaches will drop breach tablets.
So,
Clicking on
hey, dog, I heard you like content. So we put content in your content on top of your content. Oh my gosh, dude.
completed tower will allow you to consume the tablet to add more breaches to areas within range of the tower. This makes all the content in the Atlas self-sustaining. Want to do more breaches? Find the tablets, add them to your towers, get more breaches, getting more tablets. Soon your Atlas will be covered in otherworldly domains. In addition, like all items in PoE, you can craft them. Use your currency to add mods to
Of
your
course you
tablets,
can.
allowing you to upgrade all the breaches in range. Tablets can have up to 2 mods. These mods do things like adding extra
These guys literally looked at their game and they said, looked at the market of ARPGs and they said, you know what? We're going to do it all. We're going to look at every single thing and we're going to do it all. And here it is. All of it. This is all of it. I mean, and the game's not even fully in there. And I like, if what they're saying is true and this pans out to be what it, even what, I'm speechless. Like, even what they're saying is like only 80% of the game and they're adding 20% extra. Like, what the heck? And not even all the classes are even released. Not even all the ascendancies are all released. Wow, dude. This game is insane.
rare monsters, extra clasped hands, or even monster density of breaches, allowing you to keep them open longer. Often, you will find multiple towers near to each other with overlapping areas of effect. This can allow you to really juice the mechanic by stacking the mods from multiple tablets. In your fight to hold the breach demons at bay, you may want to use the powers of their world against them. Each endgame mechanic always has player power that can only be gained from that mechanic, and Breach is no different.
Wow.
In Breach, you will find catalysts, items that can increase the quality of rings and amulets by improving specific mods.
Oh my
You can also
gosh.
find Breach rings, a special base type that can have its quality improved by catalysts up to 50%. In this case, you could create a ring with around 170 life. Breach rings can become some of the strongest rings in the game, giving you some good motivation to face the demon hordes. In addition, each endgame mechanic needs to have a pinnacle endgame encounter. While killing breach monsters, you may find breach splinters. Collect enough of these and you'll be able to create a breach stone. Using a vile technology called the Realm Gate, you can use your Breachstone to access their domain and bring the fight to them.
Oh my
In this
gosh.
twisted domain, you will find nothing but a single massive breach. Triggering it will reveal hordes of breach inhabitants.
This is insane, man. I really can't believe it.
And should you be fast enough, you will be able to fight their leader.
The
Zed.
sheer depth of
We
this
that
game
are
is
one.
unbelievable. Ooh, this guy's creepy. He was in the trailer. Zesht? That guy's creepy, dude. Oh, he's barely doing any damage to him. My palms would be sweaty if I was trying to play this guy.
This is just one of the pinnacle encounters of PoE 2. We won't be showing
Just
the
one
rest
of them.
so you will have to discover them for yourself. But rest assured,
Just one of the
this is some
pinnacle
the hardest
encounters.
content we have ever made. All these encounters have specific uniques that can only be found from them, but that's not all.
Wow.
We still have the progression system. Defeating Zesht will give you points to allocate into the breach section of the Atlas tree. Allocating
my
these points will
gosh.
make breaches and the breach domain even harder, but will give you more rewards. The small nodes will increase the difficulty of the twisted domain.
So it's like, this game isn't getting easier. You're getting harder, but you're getting better stuff. Like, I like it. You must earn your game.
While the large nodes have more specific bonuses. For example, this node adds more clasped hands to your breaches, and adds a pack of magic monsters that can guard them. Get some more points and you can allocate Waking Nightmare, which will double the number of splinters you get from clasped hands, and inflict you with a mysterious debuff. In order to earn more points, you will need to defeat Zesht at a higher difficulty, and some rewards from Zesht can only be found by increasing the difficulty of the Twisted Domain above certain thresholds.
Wow.
Defeating Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed, but there are many more threats in Rayclast. Ritual altars are sacrificial sites built by the mysterious King in the
gosh.
Mists.
Another
If you
system.
encounter this symbol on the Atlas, then you
Okay.
know that the area contains ritual altars. Ritual altars demand tribute. Every monster you slaughter in the circle will feed the altar. After the sacrifice, touch it to begin the ritual. The monsters you just killed will be resurrected by the King of the Mist's dark magic, and you must fight to survive.
What the heck, dude? This is
The
insane.
tribute you have offered to the altar can be spent to buy powerful items, but they can be expensive. To gain more tribute, you will want to find more altars. Each successive ritual you do within an area will spawn the monsters revived by the previous ones, in addition to the ones you sacrifice next to it. By the
I'm already thinking about where I can find the next ritual altar. I'm not even playing the game. Like,
end of an area, you will be fighting a truly imposing number of foes, but will have a significant amount of tribute to spend. One of the rewards you can buy with tribute are omens. These are special items that allow for metacrafting. Crafting items that affect other crafting items. Have an item with good prefixes but bad suffixes? This omen will help you to remove the mods you don't want, while keeping the ones you do. There are a
Nice.
bunch more of these with different effects, but we will leave them for you to discover.
continuing
Now,
that
don't
idea
forget that Ritual
of
will
complete
also
item
drop tablets,
customization.
which can be used to specialize into getting more rituals. If you want to get to the pinnacle boss of Ritual, then you will probably want to use them. They can also be crafted to grant mods, making your rituals more rewarding. The pinnacle encounter of Ritual is the King in the Mists. Feared by the Asmeri people, he is said to have brought eternal darkness to the Wildwood. We won't show the encounter,
Creepy,
but
dude.
just like Breach, there are a range of unique items you can get for defeating him.
I like how they're doing the preview and they're like, we're not going to show you this game. We want you to experience it. Man, and they're just so confident in that. That's so good.
And you will gain points in the ritual section of the Atlas tree.
Gain points to make him harder. Got it.
Some maps have been touched by insanity.
All right.
A mysterious entity has
Another
taken
one?
a special interest in you. Step through the looking glass and you will find your nightmares coming to life. When you touch a mirror, the mists of delirium will spread out across the area, infecting your mind. You must
Okay.
stay within the mist to maintain the nightmare, which is as profitable as it is terrifying. Everything you kill will increase the rewards that drop. However, the deeper into the mist you travel, the stronger the monsters are. Be
Uh-oh.
careful not
You're
to
about to die,
overstay your
brother.
welcome. Rare and unique enemies will become vessels for terrifying demons, who will manifest out of them to unleash powerful attacks on you. The mist also offers a strange crafting material, distilled emotions. By combining these emotions, you are able to instill your amulet with a notable from the passive skill tree.
Okay, so this kind of targets amulets
for free, attached to your gear. They are also particularly great because you don't have to traverse the tree to get them, allowing you to get off-class bonuses that would normally be much harder to get.
All right.
Distilled emotions can also be used to instill your endgame maps, applying Delirious to them and...
So it feels like that if you don't have something, there are avenues and systems for you to go out and get the exact thing that you want for your build. That is huge. That's amazing.
Adding additional difficulty and rewards, allowing you to further juice your in-game maps. The tablets you can find from Delirium can be used to further improve it, increase pack size, make the fog dissipate slower, or improve your progress towards the pinnacle encounter of Delirium. Speaking of which, every now and then you will find simulacrum splinters. The mysterious entity will create strange encounters based on warped versions of your own memories. Monsters and simulacrums come in waves
this environment
that
looks
get
wild.
progressively more difficult. You will receive loot at the end of each wave, and you will have to make the decision to leave now or continue on, facing up against even tougher foes from the mist. The bosses you will face as you get deeper into a simulacrum are truly terrifying. If you can complete a simulacrum, you will gain points for the Delirium section of the Atlas skill tree. Next up, we have Expedition. Occasionally, while clearing corruption, you will encounter these Kalguran settlers. The Kalgurans have discovered ancient burial sites with lost Verisium artifacts.
This seems
and
cool.
They want you to help dig them up with explosives. The Kalgurans have marked the locations where the relics can be found. Place explosives as best you can to dig up as many as possible.
Like a minefield?
There is just one problem. Corruption has brought the corpses of their ancestors
Oh my
to
goodness.
life, so you might have to do a little cleanup before you can reclaim the artifacts.
That could get messy fast, dude. Oh.
You
Wild.
can also find remnants, the destruction of which will further anger the restless dead. Each one you blow up will make the subsequent monsters more powerful, but also more rewarding.
Dude, that's really
Danik,
cool.
Rog,
What a cool
Turchin,
idea.
And Gwenin will exchange the artifacts for useful items and runic magic. You can also find tablets to increase the number of expeditions and the rewards. This one increases the radius of explosives, while this one increases the number of remnants you will find. Eventually, you might discover a logbook. These are special maps full of buried treasure and relics.
Okay.
Essentially, one
Going on a
giant
treasure
dig
hunt?
site.
So a
Here,
huge
you can
dig
create
site?
an extremely long chain of explosives and go through a very high number of remnants. But be careful. Many remnants have mods that can really brick your build, so you will probably want to avoid these ones. If you add
my
too many
gosh.
remnants, you could easily make the encounter harder than you can handle. There are all sorts
That's
of interesting
insane.
things buried under the ground in logbooks. You might find dripping caves and hidden pirate caches.
I really like
but
this
the most
idea. It's
powerful
like you're digging up enemies, and it's kind of like you don't know what you're going to get, and it's all random. It's really cool. It's really, really cool.
Is Olroth, the ancient undead commander of the Knights of the Sun. Defeating him will grant you unique rewards, as well as points to spend in the expedition
That's a cool looking
section of the
boss.
Atlas tree. So those are the in-game systems on the Atlas, but we are not done yet.
What?
The trials we talked about earlier have much
Shoot.
more content when you get to Endgame 2. Just like the other endgame systems, they also have progression mechanics, unique rewards, and player power that can only be gained from them. As you get higher level coins for the Trial of the Sycamores, you will unlock
Okay.
more floors to explore.
Okay, like puzzles and stuff.
Each
Look at
floor
this.
has its own challenging rooms.
What
and
in
a
the
floor boss that
world?
You will need to kill. There are
Wow.
4 floors in total, leading to another pinnacle
Dude, this is
boss
just
at the end
wild.
of the last floor, which can only be accessed at endgame. The Trial of the Sycamores is where you'll find jewels, which you can socket into your tree. These are like passives that you can craft with your currency items.
Okay.
They can be really powerful as they allow you to stack modifiers that may not be easily accessible on the tree normally. This jewel gives lightning damage and shock chance, for example. There are quite a few jewel sockets on the tree, so it's possible to gain a lot of
Wow.
power here.
That's
There
awesome.
are also other types of jewels that don't provide any bonuses themselves, but affect other passives surrounding them. This
No,
jewel
that's
increases
dope.
the effect of small nodes and radius by 25%. With careful placement in the tree, you could get a significant amount
Ooh.
of power from it. There are also unique jewels available
my
with very
gosh.
interesting effects, but you will have to find those for yourself. In
Well,
order
I
to
want
push
to.
further into the trial and uncover the secrets of the Maraketh, you will want to take advantage of its progression system, relics. Relics are items that can be placed in the relic altar as you start the trial. They give
Alright.
special bonuses that affect the trial, making it easier and increasing its rewards.
Okay.
Of course, you can craft these with your current
So the
items,
theme,
making them even
just carrying the theme along. It's like you have these endgame systems. You can modify the endgame systems to make them harder and get better rewards. Got it. I like the theme that they're doing.
stronger. If you can complete the entire trial overcoming all 4 floors, the final boss will reward you with one of many unique relics. These relics will be consumed when used on your next run, but can reward you with unique and powerful items. For example, this is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial, so you will need to do a completely hitless run.
Don't get hit. Oh, you dead.
The Trial of Chaos also extends into the endgame. As you gain inscribed ultimatums of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers that you can go through increases.
Okay.
In true Val style, this allows you to take even more risks for even more rewards. At
I love it.
endgame, you can progress through up to 10 chambers with 3 bosses on a single run. Stacking 10 tribulations on top of each other will make this a significant challenge, but it's worth it. The Trial Master will tempt you with items of the Val Empire, such as Val Orbs. Val Orbs are powerful crafting items that corrupt your gear with random, mysterious outcomes. Corruption prevents an item from being modified further, so it has to be the last step of your craft. But it's also the most impactful one. For example,
Wow.
if you use one on your body armor, it might add a new powerful enchantment, or it might re-roll up to half of its modifiers.
Ooh.
Val Orbs
kind of a
also have
risky
the ability
roll.
to add a socket, allowing you to bypass the normal restriction of how many sockets an item can have. A body armor could get up to 3 sockets this way, allowing for
Wow.
a significant number of mods. Val Orbs can even modify uniques. Adding enchantments or sockets to uniques can make them incredibly powerful, but there is a good chance that you will break them as well.
Uh-oh.
The Trial Master will also occasionally offer you soul cores. Originally formed by Chaos, the Val sought to replicate soul cores through human sacrifice rituals and blood magic to power their civilization. Soul cores are powerful socketable items, with mods that cannot be obtained from regular runes. Like all endgame content, there is
That's a
of course,
cool
magical
looking
boss.
boss
The
right
final
there, dude.
chamber will drop keys to this mysterious door. Some say this is where the Trial Master himself resides. Perhaps you are
Jeez,
willing
this is
to
so
take the
cool.
risk to find out. Had enough yet? Because there is still just one more thing.
My
The
gosh.
most difficult
He's like, hey, but wait, there's more.
content in Path of Exile 2.
Oh.
While mapping, you might come across this fortress that has emerged from underground, surrounded by an enormous maze riddled with danger. Is the
Okay.
maze preventing something from getting in, or something getting out?
Oh,
this
boy.
fortress is of ancient origin, and its construction has similarities to the towers and tablets that you have been using on your journey through the endgame. It is clear from the entrance that there are 3 keys required to enter. Local factions are vying for access to the fortress in order to seize the power they believe will be inside. Each
Okay.
of the faction's leaders have managed to get their hands on one of the keys, so you will need to defeat them. Each faction is led by an Uber Act boss. You can see one of them inhabiting the city, but in order to fight him, you will first need to defeat their 2 lieutenants in the adjacent zones. Be careful. If you fail against either of the lieutenants, or to kill the leader, they will move on, and you will need to find them again.
Ooh.
Kill all the Uber bosses and you will gain access to the fortress. We aren't going to spoil it, as we can't wait
Oh
to
my
see you guys
gosh.
attempt it for the first time.
That's
but is there a
insane.
tree you get points in after killing it? Of course there is.
Of
This is
course.
Path of Exile.
Of course.
There is
It's
always
Path of
another
Exile,
tree.
guys.
So
Of
these are your
course.
challenges for PoE 2. As you can see, this project is crazy huge.
You're
Way bigger than
you're
even
telling
we
me,
expected.
Jonathan, like what the heck, man? You just bled and you put your heart and soul into this. Like it's very obvious. You created something special, Jonathan, Mark, the entire team at Grinding Gear Games. Holy shit. This is going to be insane.
We started out. But how do you gain access? Well, during early access, you'll need a key to get.
I'm not going to watch the supporter packs. I kind of already looked at them. We can go over those in another video if you guys are interested. We're already an hour and a half in here, but I just kind of wanted to give my final thoughts. Like, like this game is absolutely insane. Like, I can't believe like how I thought it was going to be big, but I didn't realize it was going to be this big. And I really think that one of the biggest things that stands out to me is their commitment to making the game as good as possible without all the extra bullshit. And what I mean by that is all the political stuff. It's like all the microtransactions. It's all the like little stuff that like gaming has devolved into today. There's no like, yeah, there might be seasons and everything, and that's probably how they'll make some of their money, but like they want to make sure, and I feel like even in just watching this video, they want to make sure that their game is worth playing. And I have never played, like, I've played like 40 minutes of Path of Exile. I just didn't get into it. But I'm definitely going to play the heck out of Path of Exile 2. I think having this kind of reveal and having this kind of like explanation of all their systems from the get-go is super helpful to me as a beginner. And I think that once I do get into the game and just have an opportunity to learn, it's just going to be such a great time. Well, thank you for watching. I will continue to try to make both Path of Exile content and World of Warcraft content. I was just really curious about the game, and I wanted to put this video out. And if you like this video, hey, maybe I will switch to Path of Exile content. I'm kind of the guy who's going to play the games that I like to play and not really worry about, an audience or anything like that. I mean, I love that you guys are along for the ride, but I really just want to kind of play the games that really speak to me and reach out to me, and just that I'm passionate about. Why would I want to play a game that, is just kind of like, yeah, it's popular, everybody plays it, but this seems like something special. This seems like something incredible. And so if you want to know more about this, like, I guess there's a bunch of videos and stuff online that you could watch, but from a beginner's perspective, from a guy who's never played the first one in depth, man, this looks incredible, and I'm going to play the heck out of this. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking it out if you watched the whole video with me. I'd love to have you along for the ride for the future. If you do want to join me in that, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. I do this as a hobby. I would love to do this as a full-time job, but I understand like that's not realistic for some people. I'm just going to keep doing it like this. I'm going to keep doing these podcast videos. Maybe one day you'll see my face in these videos if I invest in a good camera and all that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you later in the next one.